Kelp saw Dortmunder walk out into the sunlight and then just stand there a minute, looking around. Kelp knew what that feeling was. The first minute of freedom, free air, free sun. He waited, not wanting to spoil Dortmunder's pleasure, but when Dortmunder finally started to walk off along the sidewalk, Kelp started the engine and steered the long black car slowly down the street after him. It was a pretty good car, a Cadillac with side curtains, Venetian blinds across the back window, air conditioning, a gizmo that would keep the car moving at any desired speed without having your foot on the gas, a gizmo that would switch down your high beams at night when another car was coming. All sorts of labor-saving devices. Kelp had picked it up last night down in New York. He'd preferred to drive up here today rather than take the train, so he'd gone shopping for a car last night, and he'd found this one on East 67th Street. It had MD plates, and he always automatically checked those, because doctors tend to leave the keys in the car. And once again, the medical profession had not disappointed him. It didn't have MD plates now, of course. The state hadn't spent 4 years teaching him how to make license plates for nothing. He glided along after Dortmunder now, the long black caddy purring along, tires crunching the dirty pavement, and Kelp thought how surprised and pleased Dortmunder would be to see a friendly face the first thing on hitting the street. He was just about to hit the horn when Dortmunder suddenly spun around, looked at the silent black car with side curtains following him, got a panicky look on his face, and began to run like hell along the sidewalk, cowering against the gray prison wall. There were 4 buttons on the control panel in the door, and they operated the 4 side windows of the Cadillac. And the only trouble was, Kelp could never remember which button operated which window. He pushed a button, and the right rear window slid down. "Dortmunder!" he shouted, hitting the accelerator, the caddy leaping forward along the street. There was no one else in sight, only the black car and the running man. The prison wall loomed tall and gray, and across the street the small, grimy houses were closed and silent, shades and drapes blinding their windows. Kelp was veering all over the street, his attention distracted by his confusion over the window buttons. The left rear window rolled down, and he shouted Dortmunder's name again, but Dortmunder still couldn't hear him. His fingers found another button, pushed, and the right rear window rolled up again. The caddy jounced up over the curb. The tires slewed across the weedy space between curb and sidewalk, and then Kelp's car was angling straight for Dortmunder, who turned, flattened his back against the wall, spread his arms out wide to both sides, and screamed like a banshee. At the last second, Kelp hit the brakes. They were power brakes, and he hit them hard, and the caddy stopped dead, bouncing Kelp off the steering wheel. Dortmunder reached one shaky hand out and leaned on the caddy's quivering hood. Kelp tried to get out of the car, but in his excitement he'd hit another button, the one that automatically locked all 4 doors. "Damn doctors!" Kelp cried, pushed every button in sight, and finally lunged from the car like a skin diver escaping from an octopus. Dortmunder was still standing against the wall, leaning forward slightly, supporting himself with one hand on the car hood. He looked gray, and it wasn't all prison pallor. Kelp walked over to him. "What are you running for, Dortmunder?" he said. "It's me, your old pal, Kelp." He stuck his hand out. Dortmunder hit him in the eye. 3. "All you had to do was honk," Dortmunder said. He was grousing because his knuckle was stinging where he'd skinned it on Kelp's cheekbone. He put the knuckle in his mouth. "I was going to," Kelp said, "but things got kind of confused. But they're okay now." They were on the express road to New York, the caddy's speed set at 65 miles an hour. Kelp had to keep one hand on the wheel and occasionally glance out front to see if they were still on the road, but other than that, the car was driving itself. Dortmunder was feeling aggrieved. $300 down the drain, scared out of his wits, almost run down by a damn fool in a Cadillac, and skinned his knuckle all on the same day. "What do you want anyway?" he said. "They give me a train."